Okay, so we're gonna install the CPU first. Hopefully you can see the motherboard in the close-up. So first thing you want to do is open this cover. So again, be careful with these things. There's a little lever that just pulls up, and you want to take out this the black cover. We don't need that. And then this is where the CPU goes, right? And so let's open the CPU cover. You want to cut it off? On the Okay, so we're gonna install the CPU first. Hopefully you can see the motherboard in the close-up. So first thing you want to do is open this cover. So again, be careful with these things. There's a little lever that just pulls up, and you want to take out this the black cover. We don't need that. And then this is where the CPU goes, right? And so let's open the CPU cover. You want to cut it off? On the no. Okay. So the CPU would come in this kind of a plastic case. As you can see, it is a Intel Core i3 8100. The 8100 essentially states as an 8th generation, and it's an Intel processor. So one thing to be very mindful of is we don't want to touch the bottom. The bottom is the one that goes here. So we want to be very careful with this particular step. And another one that you can probably see here is the CPU has a little like a triangle. You can see that anywhere? Hopefully you can see on the video, a little triangle in the corner. And that's what you want to line up on the top right corner, depending on how you're looking at it. And you can see there might be a little mark here. So this one has like a little dot. But if you are uncertain, we can always double check. So again, we look at the motherboard manual. So again, this is a really important piece of document that you want to have, right? And see, it's showing us here the bottom of the CPU. And let's see the top of the CPU, and see, as you can see it's showing us the corner,
yeah,
right? And then yeah, and it's saying the corner goes here. Okay, see one more time. Yep, so it's this side up. Yep, you can see the little triangle here. See, you see the triangle? So there's a little triangle. It's hard to see on the camera, but on the plastic cover. So that's how we know that it goes on the bottom right. So again, double check as you do this, just to be sure. So we're going to very carefully open this. Again, you don't want to touch the bottom of the CPU. So very gently. You just lay it here like that. Okay, and then okay, do this. Okay, and then we see, if you want to make sure that the cover goes in a little screw here, so it locks it in, and then you want to apply a little bit of pressure, just like the way you opened it, and then lock it. Okay, so that's great news. Looks like the CPU is in, the triangle is in the corner. So I think we are done with the CPU. What comes next is
processor.
That's a processor. That's a fan. So the processor gets really hot because it's like a heart. It's doing a lot of work. So we need to cool it down. So again, it will come with your when you buy the processor. It'll come with it. It's called a fan. So take it out. Again, you want to be very careful with this. it has the thermal paste. See these, you don't want to touch these things. So essentially this is what is going to help cool the take the heat away from the processor, and then the fan helps as well. So before we do anything, we just want to pull these wire out. So we're just gonna take it out. See, just be gentle with it, just like that. And we
where do we put it?
Right here. There are 4 holes, as you can see. So we want to just line it up first, just like that. And then what we want to do is, it's kind of snaps fits. So we do the 2 corners first. Let's see. Wait, go back. See, you hear the clip noise? Come here, you're gonna press this. Let's see, it's not going there. Let's see. Okay, let's try again. It's not going in. Let's see what's going on there, but let's try the other ones. There we go. There we go. Oops. Then let's see. So this one is giving us a little bit of trouble here. The one on the, here we go. Sometimes you just have to do a little bit of there we go. And then to lock it in, you want to turn this counterclockwise. So I can turn this like this. Yep, that's it. There's a little bit more pressure. Let's see. Like that. So it locks it in. Here we go. Here we go. Very nice. Good job, Neve. Fine. And then this is what goes in the power. So there'll be a, on your motherboard, it should say CPU fan. There's a pin here. I'm going to lift this board. So this one says here, see it says CPU OPT and CPU fan, because there are 2 pins on this motherboard. So we're going to put this on the CPU fan that's in the back. Let me do it now. It's small. So I'm going to put this pin right here. Again, you want to be careful with these. These are really tiny pins. There we go, just like that. And there we have it. The fan is installed, and it's locked in place. And so that was a big one, you know, to get the most important part in, our brain, the CPU. So now we're gonna do the
memory card.
The memory stick, yes. So like I said, this is the DDR4. That's the one that goes with this motherboard. We are using an 8 GB because we're doing a Windows installation. So you can, if you're looking to a different operating system, like Linux or HiOS, you can look at different options. But for Windows, it's recommended we do 8 GB. Again, like I was saying, see there? These are the 4, see that's the processor. These are 4 lines. See that's the processor, these are the 4 lines. Correct? And you have to put 1 stick. So they're saying you put it in A2. So see it's B1, B2, A1, A2. So B1, B2, A1, A2. Exactly, good job. So we're going to put on this outer, again, it's on the, in the manual. You can see the configuration of putting different memory sticks. So depending on the size of the stick you get and how many sticks you have, you can look into the manual that comes with the motherboard to decide, you know, which slot takes the RAM. So again, it's really important to put this in the right way. So first we're gonna see, I've not done this before, so let's see. Okay, we pull this out, I guess, the lock. And so you can see here that, you might see how the one side is smaller than the other side. This is longer, this is smaller.
So it looks like this is a small and this
Great
is a
job.
bigger.
Great, exactly. So see, you will see on the motherboard, one slot is smaller than the other one. So this is the short side, the long side. So we want to line it up so that the short side and the long side. Let me try it first. Then we're gonna gently press it, and you heard the little click noise. So that locks the memory stick, right? So that's our step 2. So again, we start with the motherboard. We did the CPU. So the CPU has 2 parts to it: the processor and the fan, and then we put the memory stick. Okay. So next is we have to connect the. We're gonna attach the motherboard. So I have my steps written down here. So let me double check just to make sure. So we finished our step 2, which was put the motherboard on the sleeve. We install the CPU and the fan, and we install the RAM. So now we have to secure this motherboard onto the CPU. The mining rig. So it goes in there are different holes on the motherboard, and we have these risers on the mining rig because we don't want the motherboard to touch the metal frame. As you can see, it has a lot of pins, so it could short the motherboard. So for us, this is the back of the rig, this is the front of the rig. And you can see in the way the rig is laid out here, see these slots are these ones. Maybe we're gonna put our graphic cards, our brain. The CPU is here, and these are the memory slots, right? So that's how we know that this is the right orientation. Be very gentle with this.